Good afternoon, everyone. Sister Candace and Tucker. Growing in grace. Oh, he's decided that he will come in here and lay down with me. I want to share some scripture with y'all. Most of you know that I've had a hard time. I talked to my aunt a little while today. Well, a good while today. And actually had a really, good time of fellowship, sharing scripture and talking about the Lord. She teaches Sunday school at her church, the younger boys. And, it's always good whenever you can just talk to somebody and just have a time of fellowship, of sharing, things about the Lord, and what He does for us, because I know I've shared this with y'all before. She's been widowed twice, and she has been a huge, huge help and a blessing in my life. Many of you may not know, but she's my mom's older sister. And then my mom's younger sister is still alive too. But, like today, I made myself go walk. I really did not want to. I had talked myself out of it. I wasn't going to go. But I'm glad I did, because I ran into two ladies that I see a lot when I walk. And they're such a blessing. One's a widow, and they always, have something to say about the Lord. And so we had just a few minutes that we stopped and we fellowshipped and we talked about the Lord. It's always good to be with like-minded people. It just lifts your day. It lifts your spirits for sure. I won't go into much detail, but for the last 3 days, I've been very sick. But I still believing and trusting, and as my aunt said, we're trusting that the Lord is gonna take care of me. You just never know what God is going to do in your life. If God saved us and never did anything else, we wouldn't have any room to complain, because, if that's all God ever did for me, that's enough. But, I think sometimes when you're going through stuff, it seems like, the sweeter your walk with the Lord becomes, because, like I said, and I've said before, that God puts us through stuff for our good and His glory. And we know that. Us that are saved by God's good grace, we know that all things work for our good and His glory. And, I seen another little guy that walks. He's 92 years old. And he had a dog. And I noticed today that there was a lady with him. And he never has anybody with him, just him and his dog, and it's a lab. And I was telling my aunt that as I come closer to them, I realized that, he didn't have his dog. And so when they got to me, I said, her name was Belvedere. Belvedere. And when I said that, he spoke up and said that, he had lost her. And I apologized to him for bringing it up, because you could tell that, it's just been recent, because I hadn't been seeing him, which I haven't walked in over a week, probably. And I just know the week before, when I tried to walk, I didn't see him. And she told me, he went on to sit down because he's really weak, and I'll tell you why. And I didn't even get on here to say this. I got on here to read out of Psalms to y'all, but we're going to go with the Lord. She said that he told her when he seen me, he said, she's going to ask about Belvedere. And I apologized to her again and said that I was sorry. But he lost her, and then he got sick, and he called his daughter to come and check his thermostat because he was really cold. And when she got there, she said he was shaking, and she said, Dad, don't you think we need to go to the doctor? So she took him to his doctor. And once the nurse checked him out, she told her, she said, you need to get him to the hospital. So he was septus. And if he hadn't called her, or that hadn't happened about the heat, he would have died. The nurse said if she hadn't brought him when she did, he would have died. But she said that when she got there, the heat kicked on. And she says she knows it was the Lord that let that happen, so he would call her to come. And she said, and find Dad, sick, and take him to the doctor. But, as I went on walking, I was thinking, he lost his, like Tucker is to me, and like, your animals are to you. He lost that, and you could see the sadness in his eyes, and it broke my heart, because I wish, I would have known, I wouldn't have said anything. But everybody that seen him today was asking about her, because he always had her. He just, and he had a little bag that he took, and it would have a bowl and her water in it, and they would stop and sit on one of the benches, and he just always came and got his plate at the senior place, and then he would walk, his little dog, and you could tell that it really, really hurt him. And it does hurt us to lose our fur babies. I don't know why I went off with that, but we went with the Lord. I don't know. But I was going to read Psalms 46 to y'all. And it's entitled, God is our refuge and strength. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with swelling thereof, Selah. There is a river with streams, whereof shall make me glad, the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen rage, and the kingdoms were moved. She uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge, Selah. Come, behold the works of the Lord, with what desolations he has made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth, and breaketh the bow that cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. and the God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Know that I love you. I'm praying for you, but the Lord loves you so much more.